I didn't wake up until 8:30 today. What a luxury. Great success. So I'm pretty happy about that and feeling a lot better than I did yesterday. Back at work tomorrow. So I'm only working part-time, about 3 days a week, and that's always been the case because I got the job because I was a student. So it's a sort of student position, except I'm not studying anymore, but technically I am. And now I'm just going to enjoy my coffee, my Drøbak mug. Yay, Drøbak. Holla. Shout out. She started to move really painfully, but what that also means is it's visible. So I thought I'd try recording it, but her being her, it's very typical. As soon as I hit record, she stops. As you can see, my belly button has popped out. I've just seen I've reached over 900 subscribers this week. So thank you guys. That's really lovely that you're enjoying these videos enough to subscribe. Maybe that means I reach 1,000 this month. I guess I should celebrate in some way, but if it happens when the baby is here, obviously I'm a bit got other things to do. So yeah, if I reach it before the baby's here, then I'll do something. I have some ideas, but if you guys have an idea for a celebration video, just leave it in the comments. Yeah, thanks guys. My midwife wants me to get an influenza vaccine since when you're pregnant your immune system is lowered. And I realised that today is the last day in a week or so that I'll be able to do it. So I'm on my way to the doctor now. I'm also gonna pick up some ingredients for dinner. I'm gonna try and make Henrik a nice dinner because I'm a bit out of breath. He's always coming home after a really long day and making us dinner and taking care of me, and I'm very, very lucky that he does that. So since I've got some energy today, I'm gonna make the most of it, make him a nice meal. I'm making tomato and coconut soup for Henrik. I'm gonna do some baked chickpeas as like croutons as well. Not sure when he's gonna be home tonight, so soup was a good solution. And I thought while I'm doing it, I'd take the time to answer your questions. I saw that some of you have already left some. Adrian Blomqvist, sorry if I don't say that right, asked, what is it like to be pregnant in Norway? Were there any, have I come across any challenges? The thing is, I haven't been pregnant in England, so it's hard to say. I don't really have anything to compare it with. But of course I did have some expectations. For example, in England you get an ultrasound when you're 12 weeks to check everything is okay with the baby, because you know, often at 12 weeks it's a difficult time for the baby. It sometimes doesn't go so well. So in England they do checks, and in Norway they don't check the heartbeat or have an ultrasound until 20 weeks. I guess if this isn't your first pregnancy and you've had problems before, then maybe they might do it earlier, but the standard procedure is they wait to check anything until 20 weeks. I found that really hard because, I mean, it's a hard time anyway, the first 3 months of your pregnancy, because anything can go wrong. So I found it, that I found hard is being patient, but I bought a home Doppler so I could hear the heartbeat, and that helped me a lot. I didn't check it often, but just when I had a day when I was really like, oh, I just want to know if everything's okay, then I had a listen. That helped me feel a bit more at ease. Other than that, I mean, to be honest, I've had a really good experience. My midwife is lovely, and you know, I've had some scares where I've gone to the hospital. Everything's been fine. I've talked about that a bit occasionally in my bump dates, but you know, they've just been great. They've been supportive and haven't made me feel like I'm overreacting to anything. Don't know what it's like in England compared. So yeah, I mean, my experience has been good. Wouldn't say it's been that different, but like I said, I don't have anything to compare it with. I can say that a challenge I think I'll have, because I'm in Norway, is actually after the baby's born. I'm not fluent in Norwegian. I can understand quite a lot, and I can speak okay. And I'm okay when it's one-on-one, and the person knows to speak, you know, a bit slowly. But I can't join group conversations. And I think that's going to make it hard to meet other mums. Like, I'll have, you know, we'll be going to this, is it Basel or Basel group? The sort of babies and mums, or new parents and baby group. And that's normally a way to meet fellow mums, but I don't know if I'll be able to, you know, sort of make friends that way, because either I won't understand what everyone's saying, or like I won't be able to just smoothly join in on a conversation, or other people have to only speak English around me, and then maybe they don't feel like themselves, or they don't just speak as naturally. And I'm not myself when I speak Norwegian. You know, I can't like use my sense of humor, or I can't say exactly what I mean. So that will be the challenge, I think. Oh yeah, and Adrian also asked if me and Henrik speak Norwegian to each other. We try to have Norwegian days, so maybe like 2 or 3 days per week where we only speak Norwegian the whole day. We're not as disciplined as we should be, because it's quite tiring for both him and me to speak Norwegian. You know, we don't, during the work week, like on work days, we don't actually spend that much time together, maybe like an hour before bed. So it's quite hard on those days to then not be able to have like a normal conversation. But you know, I know that we should be speaking Norwegian together. Well, there's no should, it's a personal choice. It would be beneficial to speak Norwegian together. So we do try occasionally, but we met in England and we spent the first 2 years we were together in England. So it's also just the natural thing for us. And when the baby comes, he will speak Norwegian with her and I'll speak English. Because, you know, she's going to be speaking Norwegian outside the house when she grows up. And it would be nice then to know also that English is a part, it will feel like another natural first language for her, because she is half British. So I think we'll always be a bilingual house. We'll always use Norwegian and English. Bubbles51096, great name, asked what's the most difficult bit about learning Norwegian, and they also say about how the R sound, the letter R sound, is difficult. I find it hard too, but actually the hardest pronunciation for me is I'm not going to be able to say it now even. There's the difference between the letter I, so I in Norwegian, and the letter Y, I in Norwegian, when they're used in words. I just can't pronounce them. I just can't do it. I've practiced and practiced for nearly 6 years and it's just not going anywhere. The R sound, I don't pronounce perfectly, but a tip I had from Henrik was to almost say it like a D, like with the tip of your tongue, like ad. Don't try to roll it, but more like just ad. But I don't pronounce it right, but I mean, it helps at least. The most difficult thing I would say is I'm at a point where I can hold down a conversation, so I'm not treated like a beginner, which means that when people talk to me, they'll just talk and talk and talk. But even if they speak slowly, they might still use words that they wouldn't use with a beginner. And it's quite awkward to, you know, always stop people and say, oh, what does that word mean? Because I can generally understand the topic of what they're saying, but I miss like nuances, and I miss, you know, slight, you know, when someone chooses to use one word over another, there's a slight different meaning to it. So actually I'm finding this stage of Norwegian the hardest, where I'm no longer a beginner. Amelia H asked how I'm finding it making friends in Norway. I was quite fortunate with when we first moved in that Henrik's Norwegian and we moved to where he's from. So I met a few people that way, you know, his old friends, but it has been difficult making my own friends. And the thing is, I don't know if that's because I'm in Norway or if it's because I'm not at university anymore. You know, like there's no natural way to meet new people. I think maybe I'd have a similar problem if I still lived in England. Of course, it would be easier in England because I could join, like, I don't know, go to a book club and meet people that way, or just meet friends through friends, and it'd be a lot more natural to talk to them. Socializing in Norway does seem different to me. I feel like in Norway, there's these sort of social bubbles where you have your work friends or you have your football club friends, and there's not really many interactions between these different bubbles. Whereas in England, there is a little bit more. It might be a bit, you know, if you're going out for drinks, it might be a bit more natural to invite different friends who don't know each other. There doesn't, yeah. So I found that maybe has made things a bit harder. And obviously the language thing, like I said, I find it harder to be myself when I speak Norwegian, and when people speak English, even though they're good and even if they feel confident, they're generally not completely themselves. So it has been hard, and there have been times, especially in the first couple of years in Norway, where I felt really lonely. I'm hoping that when after my maternity leave, I'm not sure at what point, but at some point I'll be going back to work, but it will be, you know, a new job, a new workplace. So I'm hoping that my Norwegian is better by then, and also that that's an opportunity to meet new people. And also just being a mum, I guess that's a whole new network. I just hope that my lack of Norwegian doesn't get in the way. Helena Toppe? Was that the right way to say it? Asked, what do you work with? So I work part-time at BI Norwegian Business School. I work in the communications department there. Doing a few different things, like I write articles, I translate some Norwegian text into English, I work with the Snapchat account and the Instagram account, sort of different press and communication tasks. My background is with journalism, so it's been really nice actually to have a part-time job that's relevant to my experience and my previous degree, but also to be working in a Norwegian environment. It's been great. Maria M asked, what is it like being the wife to a guy who works so much, and how were your experience of Norway when you first moved here? Those are both big questions. So Henrik does work quite a bit. I wouldn't say he works, you know, a lot more than average. He leaves the house at about 7:30 in the morning, usually gets back around 7:30 or 8:30 at night. And then on top of that, the weekends he also is working for his own channel, Babo Higgins. So I guess he works quite a lot. But the thing is, I guess some people would find that difficult, but it makes him so happy and he's so good at it, and it means we are in a position where we don't have to worry about money as much as we used to, and it gives me the freedom to only work part-time. And of course I wish I could spend more time with him sometimes, but it hasn't really been an issue. And it's, you know, it's just provided us with good opportunities. So yeah, I mean, of course though, when the baby is here, might be a different story, but you know, we'll work it out. And lots of people are in similar situation and are perfectly happy. So yeah, I think it'll be all right. My experiences when I first moved to Norway. Well, I moved kind of by accident. So we came to Norway when we graduated from university in England, and the plan was to work over the summer to build up some money, and then we would go traveling. Well, that never happened because Henrik got a job that he stayed at after summer. I had, to be honest, a really rubbish start in Norway. I ended up working as a waitress at this really horrible place that was paying only like 100 krona per hour, and really not a nice manager and not very nice customers. And it was horrible. I would like just, yeah, I'd just be like on my way to work, just like be struggling not to cry. That's how bad it was. And it was such a shock for me because the visits I'd had to Norway before had been so perfect, but they had been holidays. And here I was suddenly in this country where I didn't speak the language, and I had just graduated from university with good grades, and my friends in England were getting jobs in communication industry, and here I was working as a waitress. So you know, that wasn't anything to do with Norwegian culture. It was to do with moving to a new country and not being prepared for it. So it was a bad start. And I do remember actually though, I found the socializing thing hard, because although people would speak English to me at parties, they naturally would end up just switching to Norwegian to talk to each other. So often I'd just be like sat there like twiddling my thumbs, or people spoke Norwegian to each other. It's, you know, and that's natural and I don't blame them, but it did make it a very difficult start. But you'll be happy to hear that I am happy now. And you know, I think Norway is a beautiful country and it's so secure and progressive. I know some people would disagree, but that's the way I feel about it. And yeah, I think learning Norwegian has opened up a lot of more opportunities and has made me feel a lot happier here. I think for now those are all the questions, so thank you so much for asking them. Feel free to ask more and I'll try and get to them in the next few days. I'm going to finish chopping my tomatoes. I might actually call it a day here so that I can get on with dinner and also edit this vlog, because I'm leaving early tomorrow morning for work, so I won't have time to do it then. But can't believe already that's the 4th day over and we're on to the 5th, and we're on to, actually it's a month today is my due date. It's only, yeah, 4 weeks until the due date. That's crazy. Anyway, I'm rambling because I finally have energy and I'm going to stop rambling, and thank you for watching and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.